Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video, and today I have some good news. We have the Ped working. Now it is a bit of a sort of ingenious solution, but it works, and that's the most important thing. So let's talk about it.
I'm on my way. Lace up to start the day. Every turn's a story waiting.
So what exactly have we done? Now, I say we, not really we as in me, but my father-in-law, who's an absolute genius. But he has been able to come up with quite a ingenious workaround. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, obviously the Ped was subject to a attempted theft, which failed, as I mentioned, and unfortunately it broke the steering lock, which meant that the ignition barrel became immobilized, meaning I couldn't turn it with the key. So this is the key for the Ped, the only key I have, and unfortunately this now will not start the engine. I can still access my under-seat storage with it, but it will now no longer start the Ped. So what we done, or rather what my father-in-law did, he was able to rummage around his sort of spare parts bin, and he found just a tiny little switch. And what he's done is he's cut into the ignition wire, and he's basically fitted the switch onto the ignition wire, which acts as effectively a bypass switch / kill switch, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't start the engine, but it gets the electronics on. So when I go to turn it on, it will turn all the electrics on. And then I use the standard procedure that I've always used for the Ped after engaging the ignition after engaging the electrics, I'd just say, to turn the engine over. Which is good, because I do that, and then whilst I'm waiting for the engine to warm up, it gives me a chance to get myself ready, and then by the time I'm ready, the engine's warmed up and I'm good to go. However, when it comes to the ends of rides, I have to get off the Ped, and rather than just turning the key to turn the engine off, I have to then access my access panel and turn the switch off to kill all the electrics, or to kill the engine and the electrics. So it's a temporary solution, but it's a solution that works, and it's the only solution we really had until we can get a new ignition barrel in. Now, I could have gone down the expensive route and bought a brand new ignition barrel with the new locking mechanism for the seat. However, I didn't really want to worry about that too much, because as I said, the lock for the under the seat is still perfectly fine. So we went the other way. We've found on eBay someone that was selling a ignition barrel with the ignition wire for the X8RX. So father-in-law has ordered the part, and we should hopefully have that by the end of the week. Now, because Christmas is literally like a week away, I just had to consult the calendar, it potentially means that it may not be here before Christmas, because of the fact that obviously, you know, sort of postage dates for certain types of mail are now sort of past. So having that here before the weekend is probably pushing it, but hopefully if we don't have it before the weekend, we should hopefully have it sometime after Christmas. However, my father-in-law is going to let me know as soon as he has the part arrive, and once he does, we will then get the ped round to his and get the new ignition installed. Now, it does mean I'm going to have 2 keys, one for the ignition, one for the storage, but I don't mind that. That's absolutely fine. My main concern was just getting the ped back up and running so I can use it to get to work. We now have that solution in place. Like I said, it is temporary, but it does mean that because of it having an ignition switch, an ignition bypass switch, it does mean that if in the event that someone attempts to steal it again, it will make it a lot easier to attack, because it would mean removing the access panel, flipping the ignition switch, turning the electrics on, and then essentially use the kickstart and boom, it's gone. Or saying that if they know how to start that ped up, then use the procedure and bang, it's gone. So whilst we've got this temporary measure in, as I mentioned, I did a preventative measure before my father-in-law came to check the ped, which was removing the battery, and that's what I'm going to have to do every single time I park the ped up at home, is take the battery out and ensure that the battery is not left in the ped whilst it's parked at mine. So the battery is literally sort of just out of shot, or you might be able to see it, I don't know. But for those who haven't seen it, here it is. So I have it at home, and it's going to stay there whilst I've got the bypass system in. Obviously, when I'm at work, where I work is extremely high security, so it's not too bad. I can leave the battery in, knowing that no one's going to be able to get anywhere near the ped, because where I work is quite high security. But it just means that when I'm at home, I've got to obviously take it out. It took a bit getting used to, especially riding it today, to obviously get it, sort of figure out how to turn it all off once I'm off the ped and how I've got to go about it. But fair enough, it does mean it takes a little bit longer in the mornings to get onto the ped and a little bit longer getting off of it because of the procedure change. But like I said, it works. It gets me from A to B. So, it will do. But yeah, massive thanks to my father-in-law, because without that solution, we would have been at a loss. We would have definitely been at a loss. So yeah, I'm just grateful that he has been able to find a workaround, work his magic, and get that ped going. So I can at least get to work and I don't lose out on money because of scumbags that can't be asked to work and like to steal things that don't, or like to attempt to try and steal things that don't belong to them. But we have a happy ending. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just a little quick update in regards to the solution we found. Thank you for, obviously, the kind messages from everyone who has obviously got in touch and obviously, sort of spoken to me. But yeah, as I said, that's life. These things happen. Obviously, they should never happen, but they unfortunately do. But as I said, it could have been a lot worse. So I was one of the lucky ones, but we found a happy solution. I'll keep you guys updated once we have the new part arrive, and then obviously get that put on. And so yeah, so there'll probably, because of that, there will be one more video at least before the new. Well, yeah, at least before the new year, there'll be one more video. But yeah, in 2026, Obviously, new year, fresh start, and hopefully there'll be some more content. Like I said, there'll be more things in regards to the ped. Hopefully there'll be more things to come, i.e. new ped inbound, fingers crossed. Obviously the hotel vlogs that I want to do as well. So all that to come in the new year. So yeah, hopefully 2026 will be the year of joystick journeys and getting it up there, and hopefully getting those numbers up. Because at the time of making this video, we are at 199 subscribers. So I think when I did the previous video, we was at 198. So to the new subscriber, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the content. But yeah, hopefully we can get 200. Hopefully before Christmas. If not before Christmas, then hopefully before the new year is out. If we can finish the year on 200 subscribers, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, onwards and upwards, as I say. But again, thank you everybody, and have a lovely Christmas. I'll say have a happy new year as well, because just in case there isn't a video before the year is out. So if not, have a lovely happy new year. Enjoy Christmas with your friends or family, however you're obviously spending your time spending Christmas. And I will see you all in the next video. So take care, guys, and see you real soon.
I'm on my